Hello student, myself Professor Ushali Tapde from ICEEM Engineering College. Today we will see what is a behavioral model or what the behavioral model shows about the system. In last lecture we have seen the structural model of our system with the help of class diagram and CRC card. Class diagram and CRC card, they are used for representing the structural model of our system, whereas the requirements which we have gathered from the customer, they are represent with the help of use case diagram. Basically use case diagram is used for representing the functional modeling of our system. That means functions of our system are represented by the use case diagram. Whatever the functions that are provided by our system to the customer, that is each and every requirement of our customer is represented with the help of use case diagram. And once we have decided, we have shown the requirements of the user, then we will decide the different classes of our system, and that structure, how to structurize our system, that structure is represented by with the class diagram. Okay, then next thing is about the behavior, how the system will perform different actions, we can say. So the behavior of the system is represented with the help of behavioral model. Basically behavioral model represent the dynamic aspects of a system. That means the dynamic modeling provides a view of system in which control and sequencing are considered, either within an object or between the objects. That means once we have decided these are the classes and these are the objects of our system, then we need to show which class is collaborated with which one with the help of CRC card. Once we have shown that these classes are collaborated with this another classes, then we have shown, we need to show how the message are passes between these two objects or how they can communicate with each other. So this will be shown with the help of behavioral model, with the help of dynamic modeling. As previously I said that there are three types of modeling, we can say. One is the functional modeling, second is the structural, and third one is the dynamic modeling. So behavioral model represents the dynamic modeling of our system. This view describes the architecture in terms of objects as well as the message communication between them. That means this dynamic view of our system represents how the objects can communicate with each other by passing messages to each other. So this view can also be used to depict the execution sequence of the specific scenario. For example, a specific scenario, that means if we take one scenario of our ATM system, if we want to withdraw some cash from the ATM system, then it will represent the execution of that scenario in terms of how the objects can communicate with each other, that is in the form of response and the request. Okay, all this communication is represented with the help of behavioral model. Dynamic interaction modeling is based on the realization of the use cases developed during use case modeling. As I have said, different requirements of our customer is represented with the help of use case diagram, and use case diagram is very much important while drawing different more diagrams in the software modeling, because all the requirements are represented in the use case diagram. So we can show the interaction modeling, that means interaction between the objects, which is based on the realization of our use case diagram. For each use case, it is necessary to determine how the object that participate in the use case dynamically interact with each other. That means in the use case diagram we have represented different use cases. Some use cases we have to represent with the help of different relationship, like include and extend relationship. In that case we need to represent for each use case there is a scenario. So we need to represent how this scenario will be get dynamically implemented. We can say how the objects or how the objects which are participant in that scenario will be interact with each other by passing the messages to each other. So the object structuring criteria are applied to determine the objects that participate in each use case. Now this interaction, basically we can say the behavioral model of our system, that means the interaction between the objects are represented with the help of two diagrams, the communication diagram and sequence diagram. There are two diagrams which are used to represent the interaction between the object. For each use case, the object that realize the use case dynamically cooperate with each other and are depicted on either a UML communication diagram or with the help of UML sequence diagram. Now, what do you mean by the interaction? Continuously we are saying the interaction between the objects are represented with the help of message. So what is the interaction? Interaction is a collection of communication between the instances, including all the ways to affect instances like operation invocation as well as creation and destruction of the instances. The communications are partially ordered, that is in time. So what is the interaction? How the two parties can communicate with each other, that is shown between the interaction, shown by the interaction. And in case of our modeling, software modeling, we represent this interaction between two objects with the help of messages. From the term interaction, it is clear that the diagram is used to describe some type of interaction that has been takes place between different elements in the model. Now, this interaction is a part of dynamic behavior of the system. This interactive behavior is represented in UML by two diagrams known as sequence diagram and collaboration diagram. As I have said, the interaction between the objects are represented with the two interaction diagram. One is a sequence and another is a collaboration. This collaboration is also called as a communication diagram. The basic purpose of both diagrams are similar, but only the behavior is different. That means what is their purpose? To show the interaction between the objects, but way of doing showing this interaction is different in case of sequence as well as in case of the collaboration diagram, because sequence diagram emphasize on time sequencing of the messages. It will be give focus on the time sequencing of the messages, whereas the collaboration diagram give focus on the structural organization of the objects that send and receive the message. That means it will focus on the structure of the object, whereas sequence diagram focus on the sequencing of the messages, time sequencing of the messages. Now, what is the purpose of this interaction diagram? The purpose of interaction diagram is to visualize the interactive behavior of the system. As we know, now we are showing the behavioral modeling of our system. We know very well how to represent the functional modeling of a system. We know how to represent the structural modeling of the system, and to represent the behavior of our system, we need interaction diagram. So, the main purpose of interaction diagram to show the behavior of our system. Visualizing the interaction is very difficult task. Hence, the solution is use different types of models to capture the different aspects of the interaction. Sequence and collaboration diagrams, they are used to capture such a dynamic nature but from a different angle. That means to represent the interaction between the system, we have to use these two diagrams as per our requirement, because they are doing the same task but with a different angle. Now, here I am listing some purposes of the interaction diagram. The first purpose of interaction diagram is to capture the dynamic behavior of a system. As I have continuously saying that the dynamic behavior of a system is represented with the help of the interaction diagram. Then second purpose of interaction diagram is to describe the message flow in the system, how the messages are flowing, who is firstly communicate with second, then second is how the second party is giving response, or whether it is communicating with the third party. In this way, to describe the message flow in the system. Then the third purpose of the interaction diagram, to describe the structural organization of the objects with the help of collaboration diagram, which focus on the structural organization of the objects. And the last purpose of the interaction diagram is to describe the interaction among the objects, how the interaction takes place between the object that is represented with the help of interaction diagram. To capture the dynamic aspect, we need to understand what a dynamic aspect is and how it is visualized. That means we need to understand, once we have decided these are the actors, these are the objects, these are the, we can say, classes, and these are the use cases. Then once we have decided it, we need to show how they are interacting with each other. We need to display its dynamic aspects. So dynamic aspect can be defined as the snapshot of the running system at a particular moment, how your system will be behaving how the interaction between two parties takes place, that is represented with the help of dynamic aspects. And we have two types of interaction diagram for representing this interaction, that is a sequence diagram and second one is a collaboration diagram. This sequence diagram captures the time sequence of the message flow from one object to another object. Once, that means continuously it will represent the time sequencing of the message. If there are four parties involved in the interaction diagram, then if first is talking with the same second, then it will represent that message first. Then how the different parties are communicating with each other, who is participating first, who is next, all these things are represented with the help of time sequencing of the message flow. The collaboration diagram describes the organization of the objects in a system taking part in a message flow. Now, while drawing the interaction diagram, we need to clear some things. These are the things which are identified clearly before drawing the interaction diagram. That means first we need to identify which are the objects which are taking part in this interaction. We need to identify for the particular scenario which are the objects which are participating in this interaction. Then we need to understand the message flow among the objects, how the message are flowing between these objects. These things should be clear. The sequence in which message are flowing. The third thing which we need to clear, that is how the sequences of these messages which are flowing between the different objects. And last thing is nothing but object organization. So these are the four things which we need to clear before drawing the interaction diagram. That means objects which are taking part in the participation, then the sequence of messages which are flowing in between the interaction of the objects, then the message flow among the objects, and last one is the object organization, how the objects are get organized during this interaction. Now, these are the some core elements which are used while drawing the interaction diagram. The first one is called as the instances, which is represented by the rectangular box with the two compartments. In the first compartment, we are writing the name of the box, entity, and their attributes and values. We can say this is a class, an entity with a unique identity and to which a set of operation can be applied and which has a state of stores that affects the operation. Okay, so we have to write down the name of that class, its attributes and different methods. Then action, a specification of a executable statement, which action you are showing. Okay, that is the second thing. Then stimulus, a communication between two instances are represented with the help of arrow. Okay, then operation, the declaration of a service that can be requested from one instance to effect the behavior, and that will be represented in a textual format. Then signal, a specification of an asynchronous stimulus communicated between the instances, and it is represented again with a rectangular box with a two compartments. Then link, a connection between the instances, that when the two objects are connected with each other, the line is drawn between these two objects to represent they are linked with each other. And attribute links, that means some naming convention is given to that link, and that is nothing but an attribute link which is in a textual format. Now, where to use this interaction diagram? Okay, the main question, now we understood the interaction diagram which is used to represent the interaction between the two objects. Then we have identified which are the things need to be clear while drawing the interaction diagram. Then we understood about the purpose of interaction diagram, and then we have seen the different elements of the interaction diagram. Then the next question arises, where to use this interaction diagram? The interaction diagrams are used when we want to understand the message flow as well as the structural organization of the object, how the messages are flowing throughout the system between the objects and how these objects are organized inside the system. When we want to understand this thing, we have using the interaction diagram. Message flow means the sequence of control flow from one object to another object. And structural organization means the visual organization of the elements in a system, how the objects are organized inside the system so that the messages flow between these objects for the interaction purpose, and then we can easily show it. So interaction diagram can be used to model the flow of control by time sequencing. Then we can use the interaction diagram to model the flow of control by structural organization of the objects. Then interaction diagrams can be used for forward engineering as well as interaction diagram can be used for the reverse engineering. This forward engineering and reverse engineering, these things are clear to you during the software engineering. Already you have know the forward engineering and reverse engineering. What do you mean by forward and reverse engineering? So in this case, these interaction diagrams are used. Now I hope these things are clear to you. What is the behavioral model? Behavioral models show how the things are actually implemented inside the system, and we are representing the behavior of a system with the help of interaction diagram. Then we have seen that what is the purpose of interaction diagram. Then we have seen what are the things that should be clear while drawing the interaction diagram, which are the different elements of the interaction diagram. And then we have discussed about where we have to use the interaction diagram when we want to show the organization of the object during the system and how the communication takes place between these different objects inside our system. In that case, we are using the interaction diagram, as well as it is used for showing the forward and reverse engineering. I hope all these things are clear to you. In next lecture, we will see what is a sequence diagram. Thank you.